Okay, let's get right into it because we need to talk about what Instagram is literally designed to do to your brain. And look, this is way more than just wasting a few minutes. We're talking about a deliberate, fundamental rewiring of your mind engineered by some of the smartest people on the planet. And what's their goal? It's simple, to capture and hold your attention for as long as humanly possible. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the exact psychological tricks they're using to do it. But more importantly, we'll give you a clear, actionable plan to fight back and take back your mind.
We're starting with this really intense warning because we have to be upfront about the stakes here. The argument is that this app, it's not some neutral tool for sharing photos. It's a precision-engineered weapon that can create mental chaos, destroy your focus, and completely change how you see yourself and the world. One expert even called its effect on your attention an acid bath. So, let's dig into exactly why a warning like this is so serious.
First up, we've got to understand the chemical warfare that's happening inside your own head. It's what one of our sources calls the dopamine game. See, if you really want to get why Instagram has such a grip on us, we have to start with the specific brain chemistry it's built to exploit from the ground up.
So what is dopamine, really? Most people think it's the chemical of pleasure, but it's actually the chemical of anticipation. It's that little voice in your brain that screams, "Hey, do that again, that might be good." It's what gets you motivated to achieve a goal or connect with friends. The huge problem, though, is that platforms like Instagram have totally hijacked this ancient survival system. They've created an artificial, never-ending fire hose of it that you can access 24/7.
And this slide, this shows you the addiction loop perfectly. Every new reel, it's a tiny little reward, a little hit. But the real trick, the genius part, is that the rewards are completely unpredictable. And that is not an accident. It's a powerful psychological tool called a variable reward schedule. It's the exact same mechanism that makes slot machines in Vegas so addictive. You just never know if the next scroll is going to give you an amazing video or nothing. So you just keep pulling the lever over and over, hoping for that next little hit.
And this has a real physical cost. One expert calls it dopamine burning. Now, while that's not a scientific term, it points to something very real: dopamine downregulation. Basically, when your brain is constantly flooded with these easy, fake hits, it tries to protect itself by becoming less sensitive to the chemical. And this process can seriously mess with your ability to form memories. Just think about it for a second. You can watch, say, 17 reels in 17 minutes, but an hour later, can you honestly remember a single one of them? That's not just you passing time, you're actively weakening your brain's ability to remember things.
So if the dopamine trap is the hook, then what is Instagram actually fishing for? Well, the answer is the single most valuable thing you own: your attention. That is the real game being played, and you are the prize.
You've probably heard the saying, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. But let's take that a step further. It's not just your profile that's for sale. It's your moment-to-moment attention, your emotional state, your subconscious desires. Those are the tiny little commodities being packaged up and sold to advertisers in a real-time auction that happens every single time you open the app. Your focus is literally their business model.
And what's the result of all that? Well, this chart illustrates it perfectly. Instagram's feed is engineered for what one of our sources calls mental chaos. In the span of just 1 minute, you might see a motivational video, then a stupid prank, then a tragic news story, then a food blogger, then an ad for shoes. Each one gives you a completely different emotional jolt. This constant chaotic switching trains your brain to just exist in this state of shallow distraction, making deep, focused work on any one thing feel almost impossible.
Let's make this personal for a second. Be honest. Can you sit through a whole 2-hour movie, completely lost in it, without once reaching for your phone? Can you read a book for 30 minutes straight? Or how about just waiting at a red light for 50 seconds without that little twitch, that urge to check for notifications? If the answer is no, or if it's getting harder, you have to understand this is not a personal failure. It is the intended result of a system designed to shatter your attention into tiny little pieces they can sell. Your brain has been rewired.
And now we get to maybe the most painful paradox of all this. A tool that's sold itself to the world with a promise of connection can actually become an engine for deep, personal loneliness. It's a cruel twist, and unfortunately, it's by design.
So here's how it works. You scroll through an endless feed of highlight reels. The perfect vacation, the perfect relationship, the perfect body. As one source put it, everyone online acts like they have zero problems. And your brain, well, it can't help but subconsciously compare their curated perfection to the messy, complicated, and imperfect reality of your own life. And what's the result? A nagging feeling of inadequacy, of being left behind, which just fuels this deep and painful sense of being alone. The platform subtly tricks you into caring about the wrong things, the empty calories of social interaction. You start worrying more about who unfollowed you than about who called you when you were having a bad day. You end up chasing these fleeting little hits of validation from strangers' story replies instead of having real, deep conversations with the people who are right there in front of you. It replaces the hard work of real relationships with the easy but empty metrics of fake ones.
And make no mistake, this isn't just about feeling good. This is about life and death. The science on this is overwhelming. I mean, look at the blue zones, the places in the world where people live the longest, healthiest lives. The number one factor isn't their diet, it's not exercise, it's not some expensive supplement, it's deep, real-world social connection. Instagram offers you a cheap imitation that can actually starve you of the very thing your mind and body need to really thrive.
Okay, that was a lot of bad news. A lot. But here's the thing, we are not powerless. The whole point of understanding how these systems work is so we can build a defense against them. We are not victims here. So how do you fight back? Let's get into the clear, actionable steps pulled directly from our experts to take back control.
All right, the very first step, the foundation of all of this, is you have to become a conscious consumer of dopamine. You have to learn to tell the difference between the cheap, fake dopamine you get from a notification and the deep, earned, real dopamine that comes from finishing a tough project, learning a new skill, or just having a great laugh with a friend. You have to actively, intentionally, choose to get your rewards from the real world, not from a glowing screen.
So this slide lays out a super simple but powerful plan. First, detox. Seriously, studies show that just moving your phone to another room can boost your available focus from 40% to over 70%. That's a huge jump. Second, consume consciously. You control the scroll, not the algorithm. Slow down. Be intentional about it. Third, curate ruthlessly. Your feed is your mental environment, so protect it. If an account makes you feel bad, just unfollow it, period. And stay away from the Explore page. It's a black hole designed to suck you in. And finally, and this is the most important one, build real connections. Make the phone call, schedule the coffee, invest your time in actual people, not profiles.
Remember this. The single greatest act of rebellion against a system designed to harvest your attention for money is to invest that attention back into yourself. Every hour you spend learning a skill, working on your health, or building a real relationship, that's a victory. Your progress is your revenge.
So, I'll just leave you with this one last thought. Your attention is the currency of your life. It's the raw material you use to build your skills, your relationships, your entire future. And right now, one of the most powerful algorithms ever created is in a fight to control it. The only question that matters is, are you going to let it win? The choice is yours.